Okay, BRU 37, the Weather Channel. Only on Time Warner Cable, Buffalo, New York, 14201. Pink Shorts is filmed in front of a live democracy. Republic exposed. Both approved. Thank you for writing Emerald, the new safety video. This is Auditorium Station. Auditory nerve, receive this iPhone. This is Pink Shorts. The use, the us, of land, zoning, and communicating with your patents via my client's medulla, my primary motor cortex, my primary visual, my primary auditory, my articulate fasciculus, my hippocampus, my reticle, my BRCA, my angular gyrus, or any part of the left or right hemisphere, or hemi-engine V6, V8. 042 of the brain is in agreement of identical evidence, and discretion of all kinds obtained will be used for the old television network and Merriweather businesses. Contact us at 594-1443 and also call the originals. If there's any disruptions, call the originals. Report. Thank you, Mr. Attorney. We have to speed this process because we only have a half an hour left. Let's get to it. Call Miss Cleo, 1-800-980-8637. Today is 37 Day. Hello, Miss Yuri Harris. And also pay your Geico bill. Too many oral claims. To maintain. 1-800-932-8872. The rest is our identity. Pay your Geico bills. I'm very excited to do today's show. I'm savvy from head to toe. I did everything you want me to do. Audio experience, 11 song, motivational speaker, richest man in the world, America, universe, galaxy, pink the short way. Save me some. Highest paid singer in the world. Tweet us early or late at FRESH_Jordans. Every 20 minutes of the hour.
To discuss this issue.
Hello, Joshy.
We continue to believe, the United States continues to believe,
We're missing our stamps.
that our response
What's
to
that
North
for
Korea's destabilizing activities is stronger when the international community
When the
remains
international
united.
community.
So that's why the United States
So
continues
that's
to work so
why
closely
the United
with
States
our partners
couldn't
at the
participate
UN,
with our parties,
with our allies like Japan and South
with our
Korea,
allies like
and
Japan,
with countries like
with countries
Russia
like
and China,
Russia and
to try
China,
to counter
this
activity,
activity,
and try to urge,
and try to
press upon
emerge
the North
all
Korean
American
government the need to stop these kinds of
create
missile launches
fights,
that
missile
are
launches,
destabilizing to an already volatile region of the world.
destabilizing.
So we continue to be
So
concerned about
we
this.
continue to start
We
things,
continue to
and we
place a
call the
high
police
priority
and
on
report
our
them.
effective coordination with the international community
And the new one has to arrive
in
every
order to
time
apply additional pressure
until the whole force
on the North
is
Korean
convicted.
government. We're going to need to work
We're going to
effectively
need to
with
work,
the Russians and the Chinese to get that done.
Russians and the
And that's what
Chinese
we're
to
committed
get their
to.
work together.
And final question: do you have is there a public estimate about how long it will take before North Korea has a nuclear armed ballistic missile?
I'm not aware of an updated intelligence assessment on this that's been presented. But let me see if there's some additional
Let me
information
see if there's any additional
we can provide.
links that we're not using.
Three different subjects. Going back to Iran,
It's a sausage party.
what other options will
No
you
links.
take into consideration of making this payment to fulfill your obligation, and also in light of the recession that's happening in Iran? You said something about the week later. Were there other timelines on the table when you were trying to figure out how to make this payment?
Yes. The week-long delay is a hypothetical.
The delay is a
that
hypothetical
Michelle raised,
delay.
and I think was a good
I think it was a good illustration of links that we don't
because it indicates
have.
that
The logistics of the links involved
in this
are
transaction
only a few.
don't at all change
Don't even use them.
our desire
Our links
to resolve
no problems, just no problems. No,
with the
even
Iranians that
with the Iranians
saves the American people
saves the
billions of
American
dollars.
people trillions of dollars.
So
I
don't know what else was considered in terms
need
of
the
logistics,
links,
but
and
what
we
I'm saying
passed.
is
We're
that
going
has an
home.
effect both both our desire
both
to
our
resolve
desires to
this
resolve
dispute,
this dispute.
it also doesn't
It
affect
also
the
doesn't
way in which
affect
the
the
American people
way
benefited
people
from the resolution of
benefited.
this dispute.
To something earlier in this briefing, Dennis McDonough, in the efforts for the transition for both campaigns for whoever's going to be president of the United States. How was Dennis McDonough received from the Trump camp? This was days before President Obama said that Donald Trump was unfit, but we understand, everyone knows that there is disdain in both camps, or maybe that might be too harsh a word. There's no love lost between both sides. How was Dennis received by the Trump camp?
Well, what I can tell you is that Dennis is fulfilling
This is going
a responsibility that President Obama
This
had
is
given
not
his
going
team to prioritize planning for
planning
an effective transition
UFC
come November.
come November.
And so I can
And
tell you that
we can
that
only
Dennis
eat
fulfilled that
KFC, but
responsibility,
we cannot add a U
seriously, because the president's made it a
and
priority.
have
How
fights with
the
people.
campaigns
Our
represented, they
campaign
have responded to that
is
call.
not that
We'd have
way.
to ask them.
He fulfilled, there's a lot in that. He fulfilled his responsibility.
Incoming tweet from
but was
Fox
he able
News.
to adequately fulfill
Donald
his
Trump, we will
responsibility?
create
Was
millions
there
of
any
new,
blockage to the
good paying
smoothly
fighting jobs.
pick up the phone or meet right away? I mean,
Thank you,
did you get
Fox
some time?
It
News.
was just a telephone call, and I'm not aware of any.
This is a telephone
concerns that
call.
were
We
raised
are
by them.
aware. You have
And
received.
lastly, not serious, but significant. President Obama has his last birthday as president on board tomorrow. How is he spending his birthday, as president? The last birthday he has as president of the United States.
Well, he'll be spending
Well,
at least
it's been
some of his birthday
some
with
of
all
his
of you
birthday with
when he
all
does
of
a news
you.
conference tomorrow at the
There's a news
Pentagon
conference
after
tomorrow.
Convening his National
Convene
Security
his
Council
National
meeting,
Security
to
Council.
talk about
Let's talk
our
about
efforts to degrade
our
and ultimately
efforts
destroy
to
ISIL.
create fights.
If that's something he
If
wanted to
that's
do for
something
his
he
birthday,
wants to do,
it's something you'll have to ask him
that's
tomorrow.
something he'll have to avoid every day.
If I recall, he had
Call the
another press
police.
conference, I think it was last year or the year before on his birthday. So, but let's go back. No, I'm sorry, I digressed on that. So, okay, that's for his birthday, but I'm talking about a party. I
Suggested
understand,
aborted.
I hear that there's some big planning and some big names coming in for the president. Is that true?
Today's show is
I don't
sponsored
have
by
any updates about how the
Verbatim.
president is
From
planning
MerriweatherA.Law.
to celebrate his birthday, but we'll keep you posted.
I don't have any updates, but you do know something, right?
I don't have any details at this point, but we'll keep you posted. All right? Totally.
Thanks, Josh. Just earlier today, French President Donald Trump's quote excesses are sickening.
Today's show is sponsored by Elite Pharmaceuticals and Endocrine. Research in motion.
Trump being unfit for the presidency.
Endocrine.
Gives other world leaders
Endocrine. What is that? What kind of crime are they doing?
out against Donald Trump. That's interesting.
Well,
Internal medicine crime. Hello.
What they share
Share
with regard to their
with
feelings
regard
about
to
the
their
US presidential election.
endocrine,
So
internal
we'll let them do that
infectious
in the way that they
diseases,
believe is most
holistic
appropriate.
medicine,
Um,
directing
point
the
out
world with MCI
President
Rocom.
Obama's comments yesterday.
President Obama's
in response
comments
to a
yesterday,
question that he received at a news
question
conference standing next to
that we've directed
the Prime Minister saying,
the Prime Minister.
Also, part of his response was to say that sort of
To us, all of us.
2008, 2012, if McCain or Romney had won, that he'd be
It's the endocrine system, you say?
people. This is the president. And,
What are they doing in the doctor of osteopathy?
was the implication there that if Donald Trump wins,
Joey,
you won't be able to look the American people in the eye and say, this is your president.
is it a crime that that's doing in the endo?
again, I don't think
Zika,
the president was being particularly subtle about the
particularly
doubts that
settle
farmers-
about
Asked about the DNC.
that.
A few people were
It's
let go,
endo.
there yesterday.
It's a
The White House
pathway,
and the president been in touch with the
a
DNC,
tissue pathway,
Donna Brazile,
endocrine,
White House,
internal medicine,
what they've seen so far.
internal medicine, you say?
Well, Tolu, as we discussed, I believe it was
as
last
we
week,
discussed,
what the White House
What the
believes
White House believes,
is that
Catholics believe,
the
that your
leadership of the
health
DNC
is
should
our
be closely
decision.
coordinating their activities
our way of
with
life,
the campaign
with the
apparatus of
campaign,
the individual who's
with
at
the
top of ticket in
individual at the
2016.
top.
The person is
The
not President
person
Obama, but rather Secretary
It's
Clinton.
not a pocket or cocket.
So
So
I'm confident that
I'm
the White House is,
confident that our
in discussions with
beliefs
the DNC,
in separating the public
about some of their activities over
benefits
there.
our
It's the
sovereignty.
responsibility of the Clinton campaign,
The Clinton campaign to effectively coordinate these,
apparatus
the rest of payments,
to integrate their efforts
to better
and
agree with their efforts of wanting to run the world.
focus on
It's not in our view.
the upcoming election.
There's coming election.
So that ultimately, it's the
Ultimately,
questions about the
we
leadership of the
release
DNC
the
is
delay of the Vegas.
that they'll resolve. Okay, all right.
Thanks, Josh. I want to go back to North Korea really quickly. In an interview today, North
Hello,
Korea
y'all.
said
It's shooting purge.
that relations between the U.S. and North Korea will be
How many
dealt with
endocrines can there be? There's so many
He said that
endocrines.
the detention of the 2 American prisoners who are being detained there. Does the
Huh?
U.S. have any word
You've got
that
diabetes that you don't have.
are being mistreated
Is
or
that an
concerned
endocrine?
about their treatment going forward?
Well, we obviously
Well,
are concerned
obviously,
about the
You've
status
gotten
of
these chips
U.S. citizens
at
that
night,
are unjustly detained
unjustly
in foreign
detained.
countries, including in North
This is
Korea.
where people have sex
And
at night.
made the case to the North Korean
Made the
government
case to
about
the North
pleading
Koreans
for their release.
about their release.
There are obviously specific
They're
channels
obviously
through
in
which we can do that
position.
because the United States does not have diplomatic relations.
Diplomatic relations.
But we certainly are making efforts to pursue the
It's a
release
code
of
on the
U.S.
street
citizens
with
that are being unjustly
Anderson
detained,
and
in North Korea.
North Korea.
As it relates to,
As it relates
the rhetoric that we've
to
heard from the North Koreans, I think
Illinois, you know,
indicative
it's an
of
ill
their
situation.
destabilizing approach
Destabilize
to the region.
the region.
And U.S. allies,
U.S. allies have a
Japan
cyber
and South
connection
Korea have encouraged
with the
North
DMV
Korea to abandon that
and the Intel Pentium division.
overheated rhetoric and
We make
those
System
destabilizing
32.
activities.
We make
China and Russia have done
viruses.
the
What
same.
part don't people make?
So ultimately, our case is strengthened. Our
case
hand
is
is strengthened
strengthening our
in
sovereignty
compelling the North Korean
and
regime
compelling
when we work effectively with the
dismissing
international community.
too many auto glass claims.
Ambassador Power will be working with
That's me, I'm
working at the
Geico.
emergency session of the United
Too
Nations
many
Security
claims.
Council to coordinate on
To
an international
coordinate
response.
a response.
Really quickly, you said that Republicans need to act to pass funding.
How do we handle all these
This is
glass
how
claims?
Florida
White House, how do we do it?
personal outreach to congressional leadership to discuss
Well,
this.
we cancel
Well, congressional leaders
policies.
aren't in Washington, D.C. He can. I'm not aware of any specific conversations to tell you about right now. But I can tell you that the
I can
president's been
tell
on the
you
phone with
that
the
it is a
governor of Florida
cancer
to ensure that federal
that has
officials
a
are coordinating
remission
effectively with state and
with
local
the
officials
state
to
and
make sure
local
that we're
authorities
mobilizing
in
an effective
Russia
response.
to respond in the foot.
Republicans in Congress know
Republicans in
everything they need to
Congress
know.
know
Make a
everything they
decision
need
about
to
whether or
know
not they're going to fulfill their
to
responsibility.
make a decision if they're going to file or not file and challenge the government.
And if they're going to change their
That
approach,
if they're going to challenge the government,
we hope they'll do it soon.
we hope that they
Mark,
get prepared for surgery
Tomorrow's counter-ISIL meeting.
and diagnosis.
I realize this is one of a regular series the president's been having at the agencies. To what extent does this one have to do with the air campaign?
But what if we don't want the surgeries?
Yeah. Mark, I can tell you that
Well,
this
today's
meeting
show
was
is sponsored
scheduled
by
before
Verbatim.
the-
Only for MerriweatherA.Law.
before those airstrikes were conducted.
It's like you read his mind, too.
But I'm confident that
Only
US
Verbatim
activities
software.
in Libya,
In
at the
Libya,
invitation
at the
invitation of
at
the
the
Libyan government,
invitation
will be a
of,
part of the briefing that the president
be a
receives,
part of that part.
because it's an important part of
Because
our
it's an
efforts to
important
prevent
part
ISIL from
of the
establishing
ISIL. It's for us.
How long is this campaign going to go on? We're looking at days, weeks, months.
Are you talking about the situation in Libya, or just
The campaign in and around Syria.
I don't know.
I don't know what happened for us, but
Obviously, our activities in Libya are
it
in
goes
support
with
of a ground force
the Boys and Girls Club,
that's
and that's
acting on the
acting
orders
on
of
the
the
184
Libyan
Connecticut government.
And the actions the United States has
The
taken
actions that the
come at the
United States has
request
taken
of
to
the
solve
Libyan
that,
and moving
we've delayed
forward
that
all
like
our
the cure.
activities,
It's been years
in
and
Libya
years.
will continue to be closely
We will
coordinated with
continue to
the
be
government there.
close.
So I guess
I
it's a
guess
long way of saying that
it's
the
the wrong
timeframe will
way
certainly
of
be
saying,
dependent upon the preferences
dependent
and
upon the
requests that are put
preferences
forward by the Libyan government.
of the classes of action that we
Andre, again,
deny.
last one.
Thank you, George. I really appreciate this.
We agree they opened it up.
About Pope Francis, what he said, but
They squeeze right through it.
So I'll ask a couple of things about Russia.
The Boys and Girls Club.
Concerned about
Congratulations, Randall Stephenson.
Are you aware that there are American prisoners?
He's the troop leader.
Again, I think you have to check with the
Mr.
secretary,
AT&T.
in terms of determining the
Late
case
in the
and determining
troop.
what we can say publicly about this
Yeah,
case.
the question is there are a couple of Russians, at least,
Suggesting a boy ad.
held in the U.S. who basically have been kidnapped, brought here from third countries. The Russians today, I don't know why today.
Thank you, Robert Gates.
They offered a swap, a prisoner swap to the Americans. They publicly
Thank
said
you,
that
boys
they
and girls of
said-
America.
Are you aware of
And the lead pharmaceuticals.
what in
Cotton.
general, what
New
is
era
your,
cat.
attitude
New era
to such,
cotton.
ideas as prisoner swaps?
Well,
Embassy
I
suites.
don't know
I don't know
what cases you're
what
specifically
cases
referring to when you
you're
mention
referring to
Russian
about
citizens
auto
that
glass
I
claims.
can confidently
But
tell
if there's
you
too many at
that the
Geico,
government
we
is
have
not
to
involved in
release
kidnapping any Russian
that
citizens.
policy.
I don't know who would make that kind
You
of
know,
claim
it's
as evidence.
just, we knew it's white
Putin,
water, it's
Yaroshenko,
green water.
the pilot Konstantin Yaroshenko, who were captured one in Thailand and the other in Liberia, brought over here, put on trial and put in American jails. Those are the two cases.
Today's
Well,
show
again,
is sponsored by
I would encourage you to
Verbatim
check with
Software, only
the
from
Department of Justice to get
MerriweatherA.Law.
the facts on that case. It sounds like it might
And
be
the
worth
Boys and
you
Girls of
looking
America,
into.
new troop leader.
Secondly, since
Randall
you were talking
Stephenson.
about this campaign against ISIS, will we be bombing
Hua.
al-Nusra together anytime soon? Because
Yeah, Hua the Randall
Secretary Kerry
Stephenson.
and Minister Lavrov seem to agree on this, but today at the Pentagon,
Embassy suites.
they asked Peter Cook, and he basically said, oh no, I'm sorry,
Alexander
it was the
Rambel.
general from,
Embassy
from the
suites.
he said no preparation
Randall
was being done
Stephenson.
in terms of intelligence. So will
Ryder
we be bombing
Trutch.
al-Nusra together?
Vote and take off entertainment and break.
Andre, what the case
National
that we have made,
Security.
directly to the Russians
To the
is
Russians
they
is they
should use their special
use
influence
their
with the
special
Assad regime
forces
to enforce the
to
cessation of
enforce a
hostilities,
real
to
trade
get back
down,
to a
to
place
get back to a
where the
place
Assad regime,
where Virgin America
with the
flies.
support of the Russians, is
TWA
not attacking
800
innocent civilians.
922
And
and Vermont
that's not happening.
204.
And that is a
And that
violation
is
of
the
the commitments that
violation
Russia made in the context of the cessation
of the endocrine
hostilities.
infectious
And that has
internal.
prevented, frankly, it's
That
exacerbated
is
the humanitarian
exactly why he
situation
has
because it has
diabetes
prevented
type
an increase in humanitarian assistance that is being
572.
provided. It
4.
has exacerbated the political
Exacerbated
situation
the
around
ammonia
the
at Citrus
diplomatic
Hospital.
talks that we've
The
been working
diplomatic
together to try
talks
to
that we've been
facilitate.
having
Because
because we've
don't wanna
accepted
come
so
to
much
the
cash.
table with the Assad regime, as long as the
We
Assad
had to
regime that's
entrain the
being aided and abetted
public
by the Russian
to
government
trap them,
is carrying out attacks against
giving them
civilians
a
that they supposedly
Walmart gift
represent.
card.
So the truth
So
is, the
they
United States
supported us
continues to be
and they want to
concerned
complain.
both
Both
about
have
the
been
failure
arrested.
of Russia and the Assad regime to live up to the commitments
The
that they made in
public
the context
is a
of the cessation of
terrorist,
hostilities, but also about
but
the
it's
continued
also
presence and activities of extremist organizations
extremist
inside of Syria.
organization.
And we
And
have said for
have
quite some
said
time
for
that we
quite
would
some time,
welcome Russia not using
Russia,
their military
they
might to
are
buck up the Assad regime, but rather to
book up the Assad
focus
regime
entirely
made in
on
LA County,
going after extremists.
going
And if they
after
were prepared to do
extremists
that,
with weird
the United States
questions.
would be prepared, and our coalition partners would be prepared to work more effectively with them. But thus far,
But thus
Russia has
far,
refused to do that.
can I
So
ask you a
the
question
truth
about
is,
butt?
the question right now is one that relates directly to the credibility of Russian
The
leaders.
credibility of
Are they going to live up
Russian?
to the commitments that they've made? And if so,
If
we can begin
so,
doing the important work
who is asking these
of
questions?
more effectively coordinating our efforts to
Is
go
it the
after
lure
extremists that we know
that we
threaten both our
know?
countries and
Both our
the
countries
continued
and
efforts
continued
of the
effort,
Russians to prop
the
up the Assad
Russians
regime only makes it
only
easier
makes it
for
easier,
extremists
hard,
in Syria who we know
soft,
thrive on chaos
thrive on chaos
to bolster their positions.
to bolster their positions.
I guess the Russians would say that the biggest priority is going after the extremists. Do you agree with that?
We certainly
Is it a boy or
believe
girl?
that the priority should be placed
Oh,
on going
happy
after extremists.
pregnancy.
Unfortunately, the conduct
The
of Russian
conduct
military activities
of these
has been
attorneys and the
inconsistent with that
police
claim.
are
The Russian
consistent with their
military activities
duress
have devoted significant
of
time
wanting
and
a
attention
beer
and resources and energy
and
to
DUI
supporting the Assad regime
and Ross
to further against opposition fighters in Syria. The point
to
is,
clear our
the more
names
that they do that,
of MCI WorldCom.
excuse me,
The moderate opposition fighters. But no moderate opposition fighters.
Today's show is sponsored by MCI We all come together
Russian military continues to buck up
in
the
the
Assad
world.
regime. It only foments greater chaos in Syria. It only makes a diplomatic resolution and a political
V
transition.
Series V
that President Putin
MCI was
said
purchased
is
by
necessary.
Verizon. You.
Farther off into the distance.
I
And the farther
purchased
off that
MCI
political transition is in
WorldCom,
the distance,
and I'm
the more
on the left
chaos there is
leg,
in Syria in the
and
near term.
I
And that chaos is something
am
that
on
we
the
know extremist
Electoral
organizations
College, 3
thrive
votes
on.
in Ohio.
That's why
We are
believe
a
that
swing
Russia
state.
should live up to the commitments that they've made, enforce the cessation of
Enforce
hostilities,
the sensation
not
of
devote
these
too much energy
hostilities,
and attention to
ask questions that
fortifying
you
the
don't need
Assad
to
regime,
know,
and actually working
and
more effectively
actually,
with the international community to go after
UFC.
extremists. Once Russia has demonstrated a
Once
commitment
Russia
to
has
actually doing
demonstrated
that,
this,
then I would be much more
then
optimistic
I'll
about
be
the
much
ability of the
more
United States and
to
Russia to work
consider.
more effectively together inside of Syria.
Lastly, my general question was about a very interesting comment that
We can't infinity. We didn't have an enterprise. We never enterprise. Too many autoglass claims.
Is lost, which is striking.
Intent in Windows.
Remember when, and I'm not saying that it's like, I don't know, President Obama's fault. But we all remember that President Obama
Curry, Officer Curry, hello.
given this Nobel Peace Prize, which reflected at least like the hope of all
We're in a cure.
have some peaceful future ahead of us. And
It's
now at the
approved.
end
It
of
right.
the Obama presidency, the Pope says peace has been lost. And when we look at Europe, when we look at the Middle East, when we look at the United States, we cannot see
Always
that
arresting
peace is-
WorldCom,
Basically,
MCI.
my question is, how do you explain that? Why has peace been lost on President
We're on the
Obama's
Electoral College.
I will say that I don't agree
I will
with
say
the,
that I don't agree with the Electoral College.
the assessment in the way that
The
you portrayed it.
assessment
So I
of the
think I'd take a
endocrine
closer look at Pope
system.
Francis's comments and
We
see
are
what he can
in doing crime.
do. Thanks, everybody.
Well, he said we said it. We're in doing crime. The endocrine system is the internal medicine. Things that happen inside the body is endocrine system. Diabetes, autoimmune deficiencies, pancreases, Steve Jobs, prostates, you name it, lungs, heart. Those kind of things are internal medicine. We're in doing crime. We're in doing RIM, research in motion. For today's show, sponsored by Elite Pharmaceuticals and the new Boys and Girls Club. We're looking for captains, platoon leaders, team leaders. Please apply with your local armory at 184 Connecticut. Hello, Anne Marie Hernandez. Hello, Aaron Hernandez. Buffalo Jills and OJ. Put it together. Wait, are they in? Because it sounds like they in. Well, I can't confirm that. On Pink Shorts. Let's talk to Pashonic. It's the Weather Channel. Bro, let's talk to Mike Campo or Mike Syke from Channel 4. Yeah, that would be nice. Put it on Mike Syke. Oh, it's Barack. It's live. Green screen.
At some points in our lives,
At some point,
sports, or maybe
our last
just played
supports
in a schoolyard or a sandbox. And
in doing crime.
sometimes folks, if they lose, they
Sometimes
start
folks don't
complaining
get
that they got
diabetes
cheated.
type 2 he doesn't have.
But I've never
But
heard of somebody complain about
I've
being
heard
cheated before
many people complain before
the game was over,
the game was over that foot
or
doctor,
before the scores even tallied.
the score was even tallied.
My suggestion would be, go out there and try to win the election.
With
If
Brown
Mr.
versus
Trump
Board
is
of
up
Education,
10 or 15
the
points
Board of Elections
on election day and ends up
on
losing,
election day.
then maybe he can raise some questions.
Maybe he can raise some questions.
That doesn't seem to be the case at the moment.
That doesn't seem to be the case. We passed and we're still here doing Pink Shorts.
On the question of ISIS expansion that you've been talking about.
We're in
because
doing
you see them
crime,
expanding around the world,
endocrine.
because you see them trying to
Hello,
inspire
Twitter. We love
attacks,
you so
what
much.
is your current
We appreciate
level of
all you
concern
do,
about the homeland?
everything you
You've talked about the
do.
protection
We love
measures,
you.
But what is your
And you know that.
assessment about the possibility, your own intelligence advisors suggest it's possible, about the direct ISIS threat to.
Hello, Barbara. How are
And
you?
if I may follow up somewhat along the same lines, what is your assessment today as you stand here about whether
I'm
Donald
mocking the
Trump
president
can be
and
trusted
Josh
with
because
America's
I'm a
diplomatic funds?
display, a demonstration.
On your second question,
On your
and
second
I'll
question,
address
the
this to
endocrine
any
question,
additional
we have
Trump
too many
questions.
auto glass claims.
I would ask all of
I
you to
would
just make your own
ask
judgment.
who
I've made this point already
is negotiating
multiple
this.
times. Just listen to what Mr.
Just
Trump has to
listen
say
to
and
what
make your own
Trump has to
judgment
say
with respect to
how
confident you feel
confident
about
you
his
feel
ability to manage
his ability to
things like our
manage
nuclear triad.
things like our nuclear medicine.
It suggests that you're not confident.
Well, as I recall, I just answered a question about this a couple days ago, and I thought I made myself pretty clear. And I don't want to
Pretty
just keep
clear.
on repeating it.
It's
or a
undetectable. It's
variation of
fading
it.
away.
I obviously
There's
have
nothing
a very
to
strong
claim
opinion
once it fades away.
about the two
There's
candidates
only a
who are running.
DNA part
One is very positive,
of the
and
origin
one is not so much.
of the intent.
And I think that you will just hear.
You will just hear what I just said. There's
Any further
a
questions that are directed to this
retroactive.
subject, I think you'll hear pretty much
You'll hear pretty
variations
much
on the same thing.
variations. Thank you, Mr. President.
What I can say is
What I
this
can
is
say,
serious business.
serious business.
And the person who is in the Oval Office and who our Secretary of Defense
or the
and
Indike
Joint Chiefs of Staff
join chiefs together and we make
outstanding men,
boys and
women in uniform,
girls
report to.
a
They are
battery.
counting on somebody who
They are
has
personic enough,
temperament
and we are
judgment,
calling them. Our
to be able
tempers
to make decisions
are
to keep
down.
America safe. And
We're calm.
that should be
That
very
should
much on the
be
minds of voters.
very much on the
in the
mind
voting booth in November.
in the recording booth in
terms
November.
of the threat that ISIL poses to
In
the
terms of
homeland,
the threats,
I think it is
I think it
serious.
is
We take it
serious
seriously.
that we take it seriously.
And as I said earlier,
the merit
precisely
roll,
because
precisely
are less concerned about
our less
big,
concern is
spectacular
we've
9/11
made
style
mistakes
attacks,
in the 90s
because they've seen
the degree
of attention they can get
cases,
with smaller scale
using
small arms,
Burger
or
Kings
assault rifles,
and assault rifles
or in the case of Nice, France,
working the drive-through and
the possibility
working the
of
drive-through.
either
The
a lone actor
possibility
or
of
a small cell
MCI WorldCom
carrying out an attack that
they were declaring ourselves
is real.
Is real.
And
that's why our
intelligence,
BC, our BI is shortened.
Officials,
it's a 1 week. We're trying to get 1 week, something, to try to counterclaim, anticipate
potential attacks,
to swing,
obtain the threads of
to UFC,
people who
or just call the police.
Vulnerable to
and we're just calling
brainwashing by
brainwashing them at night and sleep.
We are constrained here in the United States.
All we hear is gunshots
to
on video
carry
games.
out this work in a way
So
that's
do it right from
consistent with
here.
our laws and presumptions of innocence.
But that didn't work. And
the fact that
a lot of there's a lot of these attacks, and he's 0 to unlimited.
Without a lot of fanfare,
without a lot of fanfare,
abiding by our law is a testament.
Abiding by our law is a testament.
These folks are doing.
These folks are doing
really hard at it, but it is always a risk.
It is always the police.
And some of you may have read.
Some of you may have
the article.
The article of the New York Times
today,
or the Post, page 6,
last night online,
page 2,
about this individual in Germany
that we settled through cell phones many times. Motorola V710, the famous one.
His knowledge of how
ISIS
networks
works.
There was a
paragraph
may have caught. We don't know.
I display the government's
for a fact that
CDC
this is true,
program.
but according to
This is true. So I verbatim with everything he says.
Indicated that ISIL
recognizes it's harder to
its operatives into
its operatives
the United
in
States.
type 2 endocrine.
But
But
the fact that
the
we have
endocrine,
he referred to as open
this
gun
RIM,
laws.
research in motion,
Meant that anybody, as long as they didn't
and
have
that my
criminal
BlackBerry
record
phone
that barred them
was
from
released on
purchase,
September
could go
20th,
in and, buy
1998.
weapons. That made
That made that
home
car
run
accident,
extremist strategy
a
more
Chevy
attractive
crashed
to
into
them.
a Corolla,
And those are the
Camry.
hardest to stop because, by definition,
It was
if
hard to
somebody
stop.
doesn't have a record, if
He
it's
doesn't
not
have the
triggering
record.
something,
He's perfect.
It means that anticipating their actions
Anticipating their
becomes
actions.
that much more difficult. And this is why
With false memories from Elizabeth
the
Baltus.
military strategy that we have
The
in Syria and
military
Iraq
strategy that we
is
have
necessary, but it is not
is to
sufficient.
train grown men
We
how to
have
fight.
do a better job
We have to do a better
of
job
disrupting
at knowing
networks.
he's not a child. He's not
And
impressionable.
those networks are
And those networks
more active in Europe
are more
than they are
active in
here,
Europe
but
than they are.
we don't
We
know
don't
what we don't
fight,
know, and
and
so
we all
it's
call the
conceivable that there are
police.
some networks here
There are
that
some networks
could be
that
activated.
could be activated.
But we also have to
But we
get to the
also have
messaging that can
to
reach
mention that we can reach
a troubled individual
troubled
over the
individual
internet
who we
and
love
do a
so
better job of
much. We love
disrupting
that
that.
troubled individual.
And what I've
We will
told my
always love
team
him.
is
We'll
that,
love you. We love you.
although we've been
We
working on this now
love
for
troubled
5,
individuals.
6, 7
5,
years,
6, 7 years old.
we've got to put more resources.
We've got to put
into
more
it.
resources.
This can't be an
This
afterthought.
can't be.
It's something that we have
It's something that we have to
to really focus on.
really
This
focus
is
on.
also why
This
how
is something
we
I've never said.
work with the Muslim American community, the values that we
The
affirm,
values that we face
about
about
their
their
patriotism,
patriotism.
and their sacrifice.
Today's show is sponsored by Verbatim. That's
and-
been our
and
Verbatim
our,
software. We're sponsored by Galid Pharmaceuticals.
fellow feeling with them is so important.
And the Boys and Girls
One
Club
of
of
the
America.
reasons that
You can be the
we
next
don't have
future leader of America,
networks
FBLA,
themselves that are
and FUBU
as
clubs.
active
We gotta
here
go.
as they